Hey, fourth grade quantitative reasoners. Today we're going to be using that big brain of yours to solve multiples of 10 and find the product. What I want you to remember here when we're finding products is the strategies that you know and learned that we talked about yesterday, like drawing arrays, using repeated addition, and also drawing those repeated groups. But the biggest strategy for this one is mental math, knowing your basic facts. So this is going to be a good test to see if you know your basic facts, because we are going to be using that knowledge to extend it to find patterns in our reasoning and also to solve these multiples of 10. So before we move on, I want you to understand what a multiple of 10 is. So here's our definition of multiples of 10. And simply a multiple of 10 is any number that's times 10 times 100 times 1,000 times 10,000 times 100,000 and so on. It's those numbers that end in zeros. So let's look at this one right here. We would have 10 as a multiple of 10, obviously. You could have 200, you could have 1,000, you could have 100,000. What you need to know is that those numbers are ending in those zeros. So when you see it end in a zero, it is a multiple of 10. 10 times any number will always end in 0. So let's look at first this problem, 6 times 2. We know that this is telling me we have 6 groups of 2 in each group, or 2 in each group with 6 groups. Let's go with 6 groups of 2. I'm going to draw base 10 blocks just so you can kind of see the pattern here and understand the place value concepts. Which is essential for math. So we have 6 groups with 2 in each. So here's group 1. These are our ones, place value blocks. Oh, that's an ugly looking square, Hoffman. So that's 1 group, 2 groups, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 groups, right? You can count them. I'm going to circle them in black. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We know that 6 times 2 is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. What would happen if one of these were a power of 10? What if we had 6 groups with 20 in each group? Let's look at how that would change this number. I'm going to do that over here. I'm going to use, remember, for our base 10 blocks, this is a 1. This is a 10, and a bigger square, really I should make this really tiny. A bigger square is a 100. So I'm going to use our rods. I'm going to make 20 in each group, and there are going to be 6 groups. Taking my time, tending to precision. I've got 6 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's look at how this number changes. Now we got to count these by tens because these are our tens, right? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120. Look at my products. 12 and 120. What do you notice? Let's try something a little more different. What if we did 6 times 200? Erase the ones. Now we're going to have 6 groups with 200 in each group. Big square standing for 200. I'll even put a 100 in there so you remember. Four. Make sure you can still see this. 5. 6. We have 6 groups with 200 in each group, let's count the base 10 blocks. Remember, multiplication is just repeated addition. We're repeatedly adding 200. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900. We don't say 1000, we say 1000, 1100, 1200. Again, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1000, 1100, 1200. 1200. Take a look at these products. Do you notice a pattern? When you are solving powers of 10, and you know the root basic fact, 6 times 2 is 12, and you add a 0 to one of those factors. Remember, the factors are the two numbers that are multiplied together. You're going to add a 0 to the product. So that you know that 6 times 2 gives you 12, and you have 1 0 that's carrying over there into your product. Conceptually, I showed you here with place value, but you can remember this pattern, and it will help you quickly with mental math. 6 times 200. Let's look at here. We know that, again, my root basic fact is 6 times 2. Add those two zeros. 6 times 2, we get 12. Add the two zeros, 1200. A very, very effective strategy to remember. This is probably one of the most important things that you will learn, because when we get into division and partial products for larger multiplication numbers, it's going to be essential that you can do this. So let's look at the pattern again. Let's go with a basic fact first. Let's go with 5 times 10. Let's do 5 times 5. 5 times, getting ahead of myself, 50. 5 times 500. 5 times 5,000. 5 times 50,000. So start with the pattern, use the root fact. 5 times 5 equals 25. 5 times 50 would equal 25 there, add the 0, 250. 5 times 500 would be, add the two zeros over here, 2,500. 5 times 5,000. I wish my math teachers in 4th and 5th grade would have shown me this strategy. I would have been a better mathematician when I was younger. 5 times 5, is 25 in that root fact. Add the zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 25,000. So it is critical that you understand this can only be used when you have powers of 10 or multiples of 10, they call it. Multiples of 10 are those numbers that end in zeros. And you can use that base root fact to start the number off and then add the zeros on the tail end. Start the number off, add those zeros on the tail end. This is a really great strategy, but again, you can only use this strategy, I got a pen on me, when you are using multiples of 10. All right, 4th grade mathematicians, I can't wait to see you apply the knowledge. Good job.